Richmond, Virginia, where I had never even knew that there was such a thing as a Zionist youth group. And then during the Six-Day War, together with other Jewish teens, I went to a rally in Washington with Jews from all over the country. I have never seen so many Jews together in my life. It had a tremendous impact on me. A couple years later, my parents insisted that I visit Israel with them. And then I fell in love. If not for that fateful trip, I'd probably be sitting right here with you and in Silver Spring or Potomac, happily raising my family in one of these lovely communities. Instead, I live in southern Israel together with 4 of my 5 children and 22 of my grandchildren, most of them in Sderot. So bear with me and just imagine this scene for a moment. You are the mother of 2 small children. One is playing with her friend in a hallway, and the other is asleep in his crib. Outside, the sun shines in a beautiful sky. Another beautiful day in southern Israel. You're trying to prepare some lunch for the kids while the washing machine is going, or maybe you've just stepped into the shower, hoping to get a quick one before the baby wakes up. Suddenly, the deafening red alert siren sounds, and the day is shattered. Depending on where you live, you have now 15 to 30, maybe even 45 seconds to run for shelter. Will you be able to grab both of the children and then run? Perhaps, if you have more than 2 children at home, will you forget one of them in the frantic need to flee? As my daughter has often said to me, "Mommy, how am I supposed to get 5 kids out of the car at one time and still be able to run to a place that's sheltered?" I don't have an answer. Will this be another day spent huddled in the sheltered room? What about the many citizens of the South who don't even have a sheltered room to run to? Another day without normalcy, where taking a shower has become an activity full of risk. Will you hear the missile explode nearby, or just a slightly different sound of the Iron Dome exploding it up in the sky? Or perhaps you live in one of the kibbutzim near Gaza, and you hear the regular sound of digging under your home as you wonder and dread where this particular tunnel may end. Right now, at this very moment, as you sit here in this room, you may notice some signs of stress in your own body while listening to some of this description or after having seen part of the movie. Perhaps other thoughts are crowding in your head as your empathy helps you imagine what it's like to live like this, day in and day out. You might be imagining people you know and love. Your heart might be beating faster than usual. Your breath may not be quite as calm as it had been just a few minutes ago. As you notice these physical signs, pay attention to the floor beneath your feet and the chair supporting your body. That's right, just pay attention, everybody. You may have placed your hand on your chest in an intuitive response and to soothe yourself. And if not, just try it now with me. Just put your hand on your heart, and you may even just want to put your other hand near your stomach, near the center of your body. Feel the fabric of your clothes with your fingers, the sound of your heartbeat, or the movement of your breath. Just take your time now, paying attention to these small sensory things, noticing what happens to your pulse as you do so. you might want to move your neck and take a slow look around the room, counting the objects that you have not seen yet. So I mean to start on one side and just to slowly move your neck. That's right. And then notice what else happens next. See what happens when you move your fingers, your toes, or visualize what movement, if you could, your body feels like doing right now, if it was free to move any way it wanted. This simple, mindful body awareness is one of our most powerful resources, reminding us we're still alive and breathing right after a scary experience. The kids we train in our program get it right away. Nothing is quite so direct and powerful as noticing your heart pound, paying attention until it begins to slow down, and watching as the calm returns to your body. Connections and Links workshops actually show people how they can calm down by themselves very easily. Dr. Mayrav Tal Margalit and I founded this nonprofit organization, Connections and Links, from trauma to resilience a decade ago. And I will just say that trauma causes disconnection, and this is why we called our organization Connections and Links, so that people would be able to be together, and within themselves they would also be able to have a strong link and not feel disassociated and have their lives so disrupted. More recently, we developed a winning couple coping program for children and wrote the book, Treasures of the Winning Couple, a coping guide for children. Our goal has been to create a new language for coping for parents, children, and teachers so they can build their resilience. We introduce them to basic tools like the ones you just heard, using characters like a detective who searches for the clues inside his body, together with our winning couple dolls. We have Mr. Body and Miss Awareness. You might notice that they have a little heart on their forehead, as well as another one here, because we all know that when we really, how do we know whether something is right or wrong, or even if the chair is comfortable, we really have this feeling right here. You know, and when it's good, it's okay there. And when it's not, we sense it right here too. So we teach the children right here that they can also pay attention. In English is lשים lev. So we have the hearts. Lשים lev, cognitively or else with their sensations. We practice these responses with the children until a slow body-mind check-in becomes a habit, and they learn to use their own choice of body-mind tools for coping from our program. Over 800 children have participated in our program during the last 3 years, and they have received our winning couple therapeutic cards to remind them of what they've learned and enable them to work on their emotional regulation by themselves and with their families. Parents, teachers, and the children themselves all describe the profound impact our program has had on them, giving them the tools to cope with the daily anxiety of living under fire and the constant threat of another war. By the end of 2015, we will have trained 1,000 children, parents of the children in our programs, and more than 100 teachers, mental health professionals, and social workers. We've conducted the children's programs in 10 communities in development towns, kibbutzim, moshavim, and cities in the periphery of Israel, mostly in the south. Our goal is to give our participants tools for life, not just for terrorism and war. The calming touch remember? The slow body movements, like we did before, and the safe place exercise, the use of free movement, all of these and more help them deal with stress wherever it appears. We get great feedback from the kids and grown-ups. They're using the tools not only during rocket attacks and during a war, but also to help them face a dreaded vaccination, or teasing siblings, or while passing a dog that had always scared them. Just one example. We were recently asked by a local school located on a southern border kibbutz near Gaza to come and teach our program to all of their pupils from the 1st to 3rd grade, over 250 children. Why? Because when kids are conceived, born into, and raised in a traumatic reality, they act more aggressively in school. This school has decided to face this reality and wants their kids to learn these tools to help them face and lessen the bullying in the school. Imagine kids creating a safe place around them with their hands so that the kinesthetic sensation is one of control and safety, a feeling that will accompany them during the entire day. This is so important for the children and for their parents who have no place to move to, as well as those of us who do have some place to move to but choose to be in Israel, to hold on to our land for all Jews. We are very pleased that Operation Embrace joined us and has contributed 1,000 copies of the book, Treasures of the Winning Couple for families living in the areas where the rockets have caused such trauma and stress. We are determined to teach more and more children and parents how they can use these tools. We hope that you'll want to help us continue to spread this program to those areas not yet reached. The need is great all over Israel, and the situation, unfortunately, is ongoing. We can't change the political reality we live in, but we can help our kids and the adults in the lives that cope and lower their trauma symptoms. We have the know-how, we have the tools, we have the commitment. We just need your help to help make it happen. I want to thank you very much for what you've done so far, and thanks in advance for what you may do in the future.